Hi everybody, this is Gnostic lesson 35, and today we're going to be reading The Road From Orion, a new book.
Right, and this book, The Road From Orion, is like a follow-up to the ISIS thesis.
It's volume 2.
Right. All right, so go ahead and read that page there, son.
The corpus of Egyptian funerary texts demonstrate an advanced 21st century knowledge of space physics, quantum physics, molecular biology, supermolecular chemistry, and bacterial genetics. Using this expansive knowledge base, the ancient Egyptians carved a sophisticated symbolic system of art and hieroglyphs into the tombs of the pharaohs, and nobility to the skies their science. The ISIS Thesis Volume 1 posits that the primary objective of their hidden scientific knowledge was to map the chemical path by which the genetic heritage of the deceased was preserved and vectored into a bioluminescent species that was not recycled back to Earth, and the world of photosynthesis, decoding an elaborate network of over 870 signs in 8 different texts spanning 2,000 years. The thesis explains how the pharaoh's science of death made humans into gods by cloning a new species. With this knowledge, the pharaohs insist humanity can reinvent itself at death. For humans today, this knowledge may be an alternative to species suicide due to the overpollution, nuclear war, global warming, and mass extinction.
Right, so the goal is to not be recycled back to Earth in the form of photosynthesis because, this matrix is depressing in a lot of ways. Like, there's a lot of scientists saying...
A lot of traps, like a lot of...
Yeah, this whole thing is a trap. There's a lot of scientists saying this whole thing is about to end soon.
Like in 10 years, we don't know, maybe 10 years.
Yeah, there's like Professor Guy McPherson, Dr. Peter Columnist, talking about how it's all going to be like over real soon in the rate that things are going. So yeah, like you were just reading about the alternative to species suicide, because this matrix is depressing in a lot of ways. Like when we talk about war, pollution, disease, starvation, these are all forms of hellfire, which is why you don't want to reincarnate back here. It's better to become a chemoluminescent light source of your own rather than reincarnate back here to this photosynthetic world and repeat this process all over again. All right, so read that next section there, son. Go ahead.
Our planet also has poles similar to the poles of a cell. We both could see there was some amazing similarities between what is above in the sky and what is below in the cellular world. The pharaohs understood the dynamics of both space physics and molecular chemistry. The Egyptian kings and nobility understood their afterlife existed at the quantum level.
Right, so after death you're going to go to the quantum world, which is the world of particle physics, atoms, molecules, frequencies, photons, etc. So like even millions of years from now you could be reunited with your soulmate as particles somewhere in interstellar space. Who knows?
In some way, death resulted in a person being conscious in this tiny afterlife world. This seems possibly because we are composed of indestructible atoms of carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, and hydrogen that are related at death for recycling. Many of these elements become trapped in the Earth's magnetic field.
Turn the page.
Trapped like in the Van Allen belts? Yes, trapped in the hot thermal hell of molecules that bounce back and forth forever unless they happen to escape in time through the lost cones.
Right, so when you're on the quantum level, you don't want to be stuck in a place where you're like burning like the Earth's Van Allen belt in the magnetic field. So the goal is to escape the duat and eventually become your own star, as we covered in previous lessons.
And here's the thing. The pharaohs mapped a path for the dead to follow using the pole stars, points on Earth, and the magnetosphere as guidelines.
Right, you can locate the pole stars using the Orion constellation. Right.
It says, the Earth was like one-celled organism. So the path that mapped they mapped
At death, the Earth is like a one-celled organism. Right.
They mapped relative to the Earth and stars is really the path through a one-celled organism.
Right.
A path through a primordial E. coli bacterium. The Kings believed that at death one returns to the origin of time. At this origin, the deceased was the beginning of creation, the moment in time when the first cell was created. The deceased could then choose to become an adaptive mutation, a being beyond human, by following the Egyptian path through the duat. It says the duat was the Earth's magnetosphere, and on the small scale, it was an E. coli cell. The deceased is dead but alive, which is a resemble because of the second law of thermodynamics, the idea that energy cannot be created or destroyed, but the living dead also travel in the afterlife.